This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Last night I didn't get to sleep, no I didn't get to sleep at all.
Ah, yes, the fifth dimension with a common complaint. Now, there may be some emotional issues connected to that song, but a lot of us, did not get a particularly terrific sleep last night. And that's why we're here this morning with our Boomer Life show with the sleep solution experts from Innovative Sleep Solutions in South Surrey, White Rock. Dave Temlett and Terry Harder are with us in studio. Terry, let's talk about hot and cold, because we left just before we went into the break. We were going to, and you've done eloquent work on this in the past, and so we're going to lean on you one more time, because when in terms of health and connecting good night's sleep with good health, which is a pretty important connection to make, a lot of people have difficulty sleeping, Terry, because of health issues surrounding heat, body heat. You get sweaty at night. And you were talking earlier about the lady who bought a bed, had a bed that didn't handle her body heat issues well. So her way of compensating was to open the bedroom window so wide that the cold air was starting to make the foam in her bed hard. So let's talk about hot and cold.
Well, it goes much deeper than that too, Sterling. And sometimes I've mentioned in other shows how people complain about kicking the covers off, and they wake up and then they get cold and they cover up.
Yeah.
And we just had a customer last week. Actually, he's one of Dave's customers, and they had her husband had been sick for a while. He had shingles, so he wasn't able to make it into the store. But he just came in and they bought 2 adjustable bases, twin extra long, with the twin extra long organic latex mattresses. But the big selling feature for them, and again, this is another story we hear every day, was the breathability of the mattress.
Okay.
So important, and that was a very big hot button for the customer. In fact, it was the difference why they decided on that particular bed, is because of the 4 pounds of pure virgin wool from New Zealand that was in the bed that really regulates body temperature, so you're not going through wide fluctuations of being too hot or too cold. So important for a healthy sleep is to have a mattress that breathes, and we specialize in that.
So how does that work? How does a foam mattress or latex mattress have wool in it? I know it's not a chemistry class here, Terry, but how does that work? How does the manufacturer make that happen?
Well, first of all, you're dealing with a quality manufacturer, being Rennell, and in the business for 30 years. Because you're right, there is quite a trick to quilt the 4 pounds of wool underneath the organic cotton cover. You need to know what you're doing, and again, that's only what we deal with. Remember, going back to our business plan at the beginning, sticking with people like Restonic that have been in business for 75 years, going with a latex manufacturer that have been in business for 30 years. These are quality manufacturers that know how to make this happen and do every day for us, and we're enjoying more and more people. And from this show and from our province ads and from doing Canuck hockey games and home shows, we're really starting to get a faithful following of people that rely on us to direct them to what's right. And one of the biggest challenges for customers is the hot and cold problem.
Yeah, I would imagine, Dave, that's a fairly common issue. When people come in and they know, because they've heard you two on the radio, and they know, when I go to the store, I'm quite likely going to bump into the guys that are on the radio, and that'll be fun. But also, I've listened to these two. I know they know what they're talking about. So if I go to one of them and start talking about, this body heat issue, I'm just not sleeping well, and they're going to understand. So how frequently do people bring up the whole hot and cold issue in terms of getting a good night's sleep?
Well, a lot more than people realize. It's a very, very common occurrence, especially now with our aging society. The boomers, as we are addressing on this program, ladies going through menopause, that sort of thing, where they can't control their body temperatures.
Sure.
So to have a product that's got a natural fiber, such as 100% organic wool or 100% pure virgin wool, and then having a very porous product like latex really does help to dissipate the heat. Now, the great benefit you have with wool is, number one, these are not a wool blend. These are 100% wool.
Okay.
And so they don't have any fillers in them whatsoever. It's all natural. So The wool is great for as a natural insulator for holding your body temperature when it needs to, and then when there's too much heat, it dissipates relatively quickly. So it's a miracle fiber. It really is, and it's a natural fiber. It's got no man-made substance in it whatsoever. Now, a lot of the other companies out in the marketplace, such as the big companies, Sealy, Simmons, Serta,
Yep.
and a lot of them that use wool or silk, only have about a 5 to 10% portion of actual pure product in that, where the rest of it is all filled with fillers.
Okay, if they have 4 or 5%, what's the percentage of the wool content in the mattresses you're talking about?
Well, these are the ones from Rennell
Right.
on Annacis Island,
Right.
and it's 100% wool.
There you go.
And that's a huge difference. So if somebody's had a wool bed in the past, it's probably
A hybrid of some kind.
well,
right?
it's not 100. It's more than likely not 100% wool, which isn't going to work to the same degree as 100% wool will in holding the body temperature or dissipating the body temperature.
Right.
And that's a key important factor.
Right. Terry, you were talking about a customer who came in and bought one, if not two, adjustable bed frames.
Yes.
Is an adjustable bed frame one that you can put literally any type of mattress on, or are you limited because you have an adjustable frame to only certain types of mattresses?
Almost every mattress in our store would be able to be used for an adjustable. We probably make a point of making sure that we don't have mattresses on our floor that won't work for adjustables, because that is part of the aging society, as Dave puts it, that more and more people. Right now, we're probably selling 2 adjustable beds on average per week.
Oh, wow.
And so we're getting more and more people that are looking for the benefits of an adjustable because of hiatus hernias or heart problems and general circulation
reflux.
problems,
Right,
acid
yes.
reflux. This is more and more so important, and that's why we have the largest selection of adjustable beds from every manufacturer. And every single size that's available, we have in our stores. So there basically isn't one size that we can't show you. And I encourage our listeners to come in and consider an adjustable bed, even if you're not going through any of these health issues that happens to a lot of us as time goes on in our lives.
Oh, your turn will come.
There's a lot of other benefits to the adjustable base.
That's
I would
one
encourage you to come in.
One thing we boomers are learning, that no matter where we are in life, our turn for all of the other things will come along too. It's just part of the process, isn't it, Dave?
Well, no one said life would be fair.
Now, talk to us a little bit more about your suppliers. You were just mentioning a particular component made on Annacis Island, right
Yep.
here in Surrey. Now, I know that in the business model for Innovative Sleep Solutions involves using Canadian suppliers wherever possible, and even more specifically, British Columbia suppliers wherever possible. And that's the majority of your product line, isn't it?
It truly is. We do carry Sealy, Simmons, Serta. Sealy is made in Edmonton, so we don't have a lot of product from them because we really do want to support the BC factories. Simmons factory on Annacis Island just closed, unfortunately, in late December, and now they're all being sourced up out of the United States. They're manufactured in Seattle.
Oh.
So we do carry them, but we really do focus on the BC-made products more than any other product line out there. So Serta is really big with us. Also, Rennell, as we just talked about,
Right, yeah.
and Restonic. Restonic is in Surrey, and they manufacture our medical magnet therapy mattresses for us as well. So, very, very credible manufacturers, excellent product line, the healthiest products from each of the manufacturers that are available in the marketplace, and that's all we bring in.
And, of course, the Cabedza line, all of that is also made locally right here in BC, in the Lower Mainland, too,
Yes,
isn't
that's
it?
right. It's made in Surrey, and it's all real wood. And for anybody that hasn't heard of the Cabedza, it's a cabinet that converts very easily in a matter of seconds, as you know, Sterling. 'Cause
I
you
have
bought
one.
one from us.
That's right.
And we have trademarked the name Cabedza, and it's a little different than other cabinet beds in the marketplace because we have exclusive features on ours you won't find in some of the other beds. First off, we don't have any ugly hardware on the exterior of the cabinet bed.
Nice, smooth look, very polished look.
Yeah,
Yep.
and all the locks are hidden on the inside, so they're not visible from the exterior. There's no unsightly bolts joining the top and the bottom together. It's got a center support, so you've got more support under the heaviest part of the body, which a lot of the other units out in the marketplace don't have. And it's all real wood. There's no particle board, no veneer, no melamine. Nothing artificial on it.
Well, it's that time of year when people are reassessing all of the work that they're putting into the current place, and maybe considering it's this springtime, where we start seeing these cherry blossoms, and suddenly we start thinking. It opens up our minds, and we start thinking about possibilities. And one of the possibilities that we boomers are considering more and more frequently is downsizing. Do we really need to be here in the burbs in this big house where we raise the kids? They're all gone, and now they're not even around to help with all the housework and the yard work. So maybe we should bail. And as we condense our lives into smaller scenarios, the cabinet bed, the Cabeza, becomes a very practical option because, for example, you too, and this happens, friends, Terry and Dave have been known to deliver stuff from the store to the customers' houses. In the case of our house, they brought the Cabeza to our house, and you discovered in no time flat that we live in one of the smallest houses in Vancouver, and a little larger than a Yaletown apartment, to be sure, but it's small. And we're happy with that. Our kids are gone, and they're not around to help with the yard work, so we'll keep all that to a minimum. So we don't have a guest room where we can just park a bed and leave it indefinitely. Our multi-purpose room, where the Cabeza is located, is a den, it's my studio, and it's the guest room. So when the guests aren't there, it folds up into a very handsome piece of furniture that, if anything, just makes the room look better when it's not being used as a bed. It's a very versatile piece of furniture, and a very good bed, too, I hasten to add. Did that quality control check on it,
Yes, I think you went and shopped your competitors, and you
did.
You saw for yourself the difference in the quality and the construction. We really do have the nicest looking cabinet beds in the marketplace, and I can say that with confidence. And we're told that almost daily by customers that have looked at all the other ones out in the marketplace. So, if any listeners are in the market for something like that, by all means, come on in. You be the judge.
Well, and again, if you're in that sort of downsizing mentality, and or thinking about taking the guest room and making it into something a little more useful, a little more practical than the Cabeza, and now there's another option from the same guy who makes the Cabeza. He's got another den-type desk that converts into a bed.
It does. We call it a Cabeza desk, and it takes up a little more wall space, but it doesn't come into the room as deep. So, for example, it's 83 inches wide on a double or a single size, and it stands about 67 inches tall. So when the bed drops down, it only comes out 59 inches. Compared to on a Cabeza, they come out about 82 inches from the wall, but they only take up 64 inches of space. So there's a couple of different options. We have the Cabeza desk available in two different styles. So you can have the bed horizontal, where it does take up more wall space, as I stated, or you can have it vertical, where it takes up a lot less wall space, but it's taller, so it goes almost up to the ceiling, and it comes out about the same length as the Cabezas do. But the great thing about them is they both have a built-in desk that you can leave a computer completely set up 24/7. You never have to move it. And it drops down right to the floor. The desk actually becomes part of the support, and the computer just sits underneath of that. So the next morning, when the bed is time to put the bed away, you just lift it up, and then your computer is right there ready to use.
By the way, if you'd like to have a look at how this whole Cabeza thing works, now I didn't see the desk when I checked on the website, but you certainly.
It's on there now.
Oh, it is now.
Yep.
Great, because and the bed is certainly there, and you can see how it flips up and folds out and all of that sort of thing. And, and I believe you were in one of the videos actually with that white Cabeza folding it out, doing the actual
Terry
demo.
and I both did that. Yeah.
Okay. So and it's really fast. That's the beauty of it. You can convert this unit from a big cabinet up against the wall into a full-on, in our case, queen-size guest bed in less than 2 minutes. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of work, and it looks terrific, and it sleeps well. Terry, start me off, because I want to get talking about foams and latexes, and you're the expert on this. So let's start with the Cabeza. What sort of mattress goes into the cabinet bed?
Terry's our resident chemist.
Well, that's very, very good question, and we first of all, going back to what Dave said about only picking CertaPure foams, it typically offers the CertaPure plant-based foam, but more importantly than it being plant-based is the fact that it's been tested for ozone depleters, formaldehyde, heavy metal, mercury, leads, phthalates, PDBEs, and VOCs. So it's not your typical foam that you get the off-gassing on, as well as the memory foam that's in the mattress as well. So very good for pressure point relief benefits. And on our units, we offer that in both a 6-inch and a 7-inch. Sterling has the 7-inch with his unit. Or we can also offer it in the latex for some people that want to take advantage of latex comfort. In the Cabedza, we offer that. And I wanted to reiterate a story getting back to the Cabedzas. Last weekend we had a customer buy one. They saw our Home and Design magazine at the home show in February. And they looked at unfortunately we weren't at the home show. They looked at the unit, looked around for us, didn't see us, went and looked at a unit at the home show at somebody that markets them in our area, and didn't buy, and came out to our store the next weekend and purchased a Cabedza from us. So it really is a testament to when we say it is the nicest looking unit in the market, but you be the judge. That's a perfect example of she decided to go ahead with our unit, because it literally is. Really, we heard every day it's the nicest looking unit in the market, but you be the judge.
There's no question about it. And I was compelled by Terry and Dave to go, as Terry just mentioned, to go check out the competition. And I did. And I was pretty careful because, well, I was spending my own dough, thank you very much. And so I wanted to make sure I was going to get a good bang for the buck. And so I got very curious and asked good questions and came back fully satisfied after having looked at alternatives from other manufacturers. Came back to the store and went, no, this is the one this is the best made that we've seen, and now we're even more comfortable being able to say that. Terry, I want to get more on latex and foams and all that sort of thing from you, so we'll give you 2 seconds here to gather your thoughts. We'll take a quick time out, and then you can tell us a lot more about foams and latexes and all of those other chemical compounds that can, properly selected, make for a fantastic night's sleep. Our guests are Dave Temlett and Terry Harder, the sleep solutions experts from Innovative Sleep Solutions at 3033 King George Boulevard in Surrey, and online at innovativesleep.ca. Back with lots more after this.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.